Okay. So we have a TNA fan in the chat, so we'll go ahead and get to the TNA news. So TNA has taken a month-long hiatus. They will tell you that they're not taking hiatus because last week they did a After Glory special where they just talked about Bound for Glory. Well, this coming up week they have a documentary, which actually would be pretty good. They did a good job with Slammiversary's documentary, but a documentary about Bound for Glory. And the next week, I have no idea what they're doing. And then on November 13th, they're going live from Full Sail University. So they're taking a month off. And there's rumors out there that they're trying to clear the balance sheet to possibly get themselves in position for a sale. Their last two cities of the year, it's going to be Orlando for 3 days, where they're going to do a pay-per-view or a TNA Plus special and a month of TV. And then they're going to go to El Paso, Texas, where they did really well. I think they did like 3,000 to 4,000 a night earlier this year, where they're going to do another like Final Resolution, and they're going to do a month of TV there, so 3 nights in a row, which is a good way to save money. The TV deal appears to be ready to go. An announcement coming up soon. Looks like it's going to be CW. Night of the week up in the air. I don't know what that's going to look like, but it should be starting in 2026. So there's a lot of reasons there. Rumors abound as to why that they're doing this. I can't understand coming off of that. Bound for Glory, as far as like quality show, I wasn't a fan of it, but WrestleTic's final number was over 7,000. They did a pretty good job of putting people in that building, and it's one of the biggest shows they've ever done. And for them to take a month off after that is kind of weird.
I'm skeptical on a lot of things with all this, to be quite honest with you. I understand going dark if you had a TV deal to announce and you're going to come back on the new network and stuff like that.
Agreed.
I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical on why you didn't make that big announcement at your biggest show. I'm skeptical that. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just like, I think they've allowed for enough wiggle room to make people kind of pause, because we've had moments specifically with that network that have come up and things have kind of fallen through, especially because there is so much smoke around the idea of them announcing the TV show, right? At Bound for Glory, and that doesn't happen. And then it doesn't really happen. And it's been kind of publicly all, been kind of quiet about it. So I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but I'm skeptical, and I think you'll probably tell me I'm wrong, but I'll disagree.
No, you're not. I think you're right to be skeptical. I think if it were absolutely done, they would have announced it.
And this is where I'm dragging my feet mainly, and I wonder if this has to do with the fact that wrestling ratings across the board have taken a shit. Yeah. And you can say it's the new Nielsen, but the way the new Nielsen makes an already sketchy proposition of wrestling on TV look even worse of what you're going to spend. So, I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I don't know about TNA. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still and this is not a homer of me, because I have been completely skeptical of them over the years, but I've talked to enough people to where I'm fairly confident that that they're just fine tuning it, and they're just not ready to announce it because they don't have all the details. Like
Core Power had a TV deal too that fell apart before his eyes.
Well, WWE sabotaged that one. WWE is like making sure this one happens.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, things aren't. I mean, like, it's like I said, it's not as all as wine and roses as we thought with pro wrestling. I'm not saying they're not going to get a TV deal. I'm not saying that. I think they probably are. I think maybe they don't get as great a deal as they think. Maybe they don't get as great a spot as they think. All I'm saying is, if this was ready to go, I think it would have been announced. I think the fact that it hasn't been announced and they're taking this big month off should give a lot of fans reason to pause and wonder what's going on over there.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. That makes total sense to me. Historically they wouldn't make those announcements at like the pay-per-view. They would just release it to like the Hollywood Reporter or Variety or something like that. And that's what they've done in the past. That's what WWE has done. Like, they didn't like come out on a pay-per-view and say, okay, and we're coming to Netflix in January. They released it to
Yeah,
Like
the difference is
like
people
a,
give it like Mike. The difference is the Hollywood Reporter and Variety would give a shit about WWE. They're not gonna about TNA, and we
well,
can pretend
I would
that
agree
they're
with you,
going to.
JD, if Variety wasn't the one that broke the story that TNA got onto Access back in the day, right? Like they have enough sway to be able to get on that, especially if it's CW. Like that's a big enough deal. And look, Variety is just a PR publication, right? So
It
if
is.
you're working with CAA, which is what they are, like that's the agency that's brokering this deal, they can get them into Variety and the Hollywood Reporter, and they've covered them before. Or they would, John Alba would put it in Sports Illustrated for sure.
Again, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm saying taking a month of not doing anything and to tell your
Oh,
hardcore fans what's going on is a tremendous question
yeah.
mark.
Yes. I think taking a month off of television is ungodly fucking stupid, which is why the
That's how
rumors are,
personal.
yeah, which is why rumors are out there that they're clearing off the balance sheet trying to get to a sale. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but there was the Lorenzo Fertitta rumors that were out there for a while. Those kind of died off. I don't know what's going on with that. So,
Because
um,
yeah, again, these rumors like will start floating. Remember, Vince was selling to the Saudis. Like stuff
yeah,
gets leaked for reasons, and like oftentimes the leaks don't really click. So, and that's just been the things with wrestlers. We thought, oh, this is going to happen here, and then it doesn't. Specifically, where it comes to WWE stuff, like nobody had Raw to Netflix, right? That came out of
right,
nowhere.
yeah, yeah. Um, Again, I'm still confident, but if this whole thing blows up, that wouldn't shock me either because I've been covering this company long enough to where like I kind of almost half expect that to happen 9 times out of 10. All right. Oh, Lil Silver, let me see. He put in a couple comments. I want to get to him. He always supports us. He says, "I think it's a good thing they're taking time off, so superstars can recover." Brother, they were working indies the entire time. In fact, Jody Threat just worked Mercedes Monet last night. So they're not taking time off. No one's recovering here. They're all working indies. They're just taking other bookings.
No one at TNA is making enough money to do nothing when they're not
Yeah.
doing anything. You know,
The only people not doing nothing are the usuals, Moose and Eddie Edwards, because they're the ones
they're
making
the
all
ones
the
who get
money in the
paid. Yeah,
company.
not
Yeah,
everybody else is.
yeah. All right. Next, we got a couple more stories, and we're gonna get out of here. We're actually getting close to the time. AJ Styles confirms retirement plans for 2026. So he says 2026 is his last year. So he's doing his retirement tour. Would be cool to see him do a match in TNA. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Although they did let him go to Noah at one point. So that is possible. But yeah, AJ Styles 2026 retiring.
I think you'll see him in TNA at least once before it's said and done, especially
Yeah,
with this working relationship, right? I think we
yeah.
need to hear "Get Ready to Fly" one more time.
For sure. Chris Jericho edges closer to WWE return. So his AEW contract's is expiring between November and December 2025. He's fueling rumors of a comeback. Sources indicate WWE expects him back for a retirement tour and a Hall of Fame induction in 2026. I think that's from Dave. Jericho's next cruise announcement notably lacked AEW talent. Adding to speculation, Tony Khan addressed his future vaguely, while Jericho himself has left the door open. So yeah, I mean, break the walls down at Royal Rumble, right? Is what we're looking at.
100%, and I think it's good because I think it was time for him to go. And Chris
Yeah,
Jericho's smart enough to know when it's time to go. The funny part is going to be all the people that bitched about him for years are going to be like, "Oh my God, Chris Jericho's back at WWE! It's so amazing!"
yeah.
Like they'll
There's
be
a
well, quickly too, but
they're
you'll hear
deleting their
more.
tweets already, which I need to go on there and try to get some receipts just to like throw back in their face. There's a whole like anti AEW account out there called WWF Junkie, and it's like the avatar is Fat Chris
Back Chris
Jericho.
Jericho, yeah.
Yeah. And like I wonder what that guy's like, what he's thinking, what he's gonna do now.
Oh,
That
it's
I feel bad for him.
Don't feel bad for him. He's a hypocritical piece of shit. Deserves whatever he gets. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that guy. Like again, it's gonna. So many people are gonna be exposed as being, and it doesn't matter if they're exposed.
No.
They don't have any pride in anything. And if Twitter, 5 years ago, like what happened in Twitter actually mattered, but Elon Musk has left it such a dusk, hellish pit of despair. Like Twitter now is all just about fucking engagement and porn bots, and like it's a nightmare. There's nothing cool on Twitter anymore. So ultimately